There is a sentence, 7 words long, that insurance company name is quietly praying you never say out loud. I am going to give you those 7 words in just a few minutes, and once you have them, you can call your insurer, you can read them off a piece of paper, you can even ask your grandchild to read them for you, and the entire game changes. But first, let me show you what is on the table, because what we are talking about here is not a coupon, it is not a one-time discount, it is real money, your money, money the law already says belongs to you. Most seniors who qualify are sitting on a refund somewhere between dollar amount low dollars and dollar amount high dollars every single year, and a lot of them have been sitting on it for 2, 3, even 4 years running. Add that up, a few $1,000s a year kept back from you for 3 or 4 years, that is a number with a comma in it. That is the kind of number that buys groceries for a winter. That is the kind of number that pays an electric bill through the cold months. That is the kind of number that lets a grandchild come visit twice instead of once. And it is just sitting there inside a computer at insurance company name, waiting for you to claim it. Here is what makes me angry about it, and I want to be honest with you. This is what makes me angry. The insurance company knows you qualify. The agents know. The adjusters know. The people who answer the phone when you call in, a lot of them have been trained on the rule. They just hope you never ask. They hope you keep paying the higher premium. They hope you move on with your life and never, ever, ever say the 7 words. Because every single month you stay quiet, their numbers look better and your bank account looks worse. That is not a secret conspiracy. That is just how big insurance works when nobody pushes back. So today, we push back. The rule itself is hiding in plain sight. It is written down. It has been on the books in target state or jurisdiction for years. It is the kind of rule that any decent insurance agent should bring up the moment you turn 65, and yet most of them do not. Why would they? Bringing it up means they have to lower your premium. Bringing it up means they have to look back at last year and last year before that and maybe even the year before that and write you a refund check. Bringing it up means they have to admit out loud that they were overcharging you, and what big company volunteers for that? Nobody. So the rule sits, the refund sits, your money sits, and insurance company name keeps earning interest on money that the law already says is yours. That stops today in this video the moment you learn the 7 words. And I should pause here and say something that might sound strange, but it matters. This is not just about one insurer. This is about an entire industry. Right now, in year, companies are quietly canceling or quietly raising the policies of seniors over 65 at a rate we have not seen before. Some are dropping whole categories of coverage, some are jacking up the premium so high that you quietly drop the policy yourself, which is what they want. Some are sending letters with words like non-renewal and re-rated that sound like housekeeping but are really code for we have decided you are not profitable anymore. Thank you for your 40 years of payments. The law in your state almost certainly gives you a shield against at least some of this. You just have to ask for it. And asking starts with 7 words. Before I give you the words, hit the like button on this video. Not for me, I am not asking for a favor. I am asking you to do something for every senior you love. The algorithm on sites like this one is trained to push loud content in front of young eyes. It is trained to hide information like this from 65-year-olds who quietly pay their bills and never make a fuss. Every time you hit like, you are sending a signal to that algorithm. You are saying, this matters, push it to more grandmothers and grandfathers, push it to more retired teachers, push it to more veterans sitting at the kitchen table trying to make the math work. Every like is a small rebellion. Every like is a knock on the door of insurance company name telling them we are not staying quiet anymore. So like the video, subscribe if you have not already, and share this with one person over 65 before I give you the 7 words, because someone you love is overpaying right now, today, this week, and they do not even know it. Now let me tell you about Mary. Mary is not her real name, but her story is real, because I have seen versions of this story play out again and again in target state or jurisdiction, and I am tired of seeing it. Mary turned 65 in year Mary turned 65. She had been with insurance company name for almost 20 years. She had never missed a payment. She had never filed a claim that she did not have to file. She was the model customer, the kind of customer the company bragged about in its commercials. And every month the auto pay came out of her checking account. The same number, the same higher premium, month after month after month. Mary trusted them. Why would she not trust them? They had been on her side every time she called. They had paid her hospital bills when she had her hip surgery. They had sent a nice card on her birthday. They felt like family. And family does not overcharge you, right? Family tells you when you are leaving money on the table, but insurance company name is not family. It is a business. And businesses do not call you up to say, hey, Mary, you turned 65 last spring. You now qualify for a senior exemption on your premiums. You could have been saving dollar amount per month a month. Do you want us to go back and refund the last 3 years? No business does that. They just keep taking the money and crossing their fingers that Mary will never ask. Mary got a letter in year Mary got the letter that scared her half to death. It said her policy was being re-rated, and it gave her 90 days to either accept the new, much higher premium or find a new insurer on her own. Mary did not know what re-rated meant. She thought it was just office talk. She thought it was like a routine update. She paid the higher amount because she was afraid that if she did not, she would lose her coverage right when she needed it most. She did not call a friend. She did not call her daughter. She did not ask a single question. She just paid, the way her generation has always paid, with a polite check and a quiet complaint that nobody ever hears. 2 more years went by for Mary. That is another annual dollar amount the company collected from her that the law says it should not have been collecting, plus the silent cancel by overpricing that pushed her out of the affordable range of her old plan. Then her daughter, my friend, came home for Thanksgiving and looked at the stack of insurance bills on the kitchen counter. Something did not add up. Her mother had been on the same plan for years. Nothing had changed in her health. Nothing had changed in her car. Nothing had changed in her house. So why was the premium climbing every single year? And why had the renewal terms gotten so harsh? The daughter went online, typed a few words into a search engine, and within 20 minutes, she had the answer. There was a senior exemption, there was a senior cap, there was a senior protection rule depending on the exact policy and the exact state, and her mother had been paying the full unprotected rate for years. Worse, the letter Mary had ignored about being re-rated would almost certainly have triggered an appeal right under the senior protection law, an appeal that would have frozen the rate and possibly stopped the cancellation in its tracks. When Mary called insurance company name and asked for the retroactive refund and asked why her prior non-renewal had not been flagged for senior review, the agent on the phone went quiet for a long moment. Then the agent said, "Well, the policy did include that protection, yes, but it is usually the customer's job to ask." The law never required Mary to pay the higher rate. The exemption was sitting right there in her policy the whole time. The senior review on a non-renewal was sitting right there in the state rulebook the whole time. But the company kept the check anyway. They kept the check for years, and the cancellation notice kept moving forward, and they would have kept both forever if Mary's daughter had not come home for turkey and noticed a few extra dollars on the bill. That is why I am making this video. Mary is not special. Mary is not rare. Mary is every senior watching this right now who has been quiet, who has been polite, who has been trusting, who has been paying whatever the bill said, because that is what their generation taught them to do. The system is not counting on people like Mary to be loud. The system is counting on people like you to be quiet. So stop being quiet. Okay, here are your 3 steps. They are simple. They are exactly what I would tell my own mother to do, and I think of my own mother when I record every one of these videos. Step 1 is the what. The what is the name of the rule or the form or the program that unlocks your savings in target state or jurisdiction. The protection that most seniors over 65 should be asking about is called exact name of the senior insurance exemption or form. I will say it again very slowly. Exact name of the senior insurance exemption or form. Write that down or screenshot the video right here. That phrase, those exact words, is the gateway to everything. Without that phrase, you are just a customer calling to complain. With that phrase, you are a customer calling to claim what the law already gave you. It is also the phrase that flips a non-renewal letter into a senior review, and a senior review is something the company cannot just brush aside. If you have already received a cancellation or re-rate letter and a deadline is on it, this is the phrase that stops the clock. Step 2 is the how. The how is the exact number to call, the exact website to visit, and the exact search term to type in. The number to call is insurance company customer service number or state insurance department number. That is the line where a real human picks up, a real human who has the rules in front of them, a real human who can be polite but firm when you say the 7 words. When the automated menu asks who you are calling about, do not say billing, do not say claims, say exact menu keyword. If you would rather do this online, go to insurance company website URL or State Department of Insurance URL and search for exact search term like senior exemption or age 65 review. Hit enter. The first 3 links on the search results page are the ones that matter. The links further down the page are noise. If the letter you got used the word non-renewal or re-rated, search for those words plus senior appeal, because that is the exact phrase that pulls up the form that freezes your rate. Step 3 is the script. Here it is, the moment we have been waiting for. The 7 words you say out loud, the 7 words you type in, the 7 words that change the conversation from you begging the company to pay attention to you demanding what the law already says is yours. The 7 words are these: I am over 65. What am I exempt from? Let me say them again so you can write them down. I am over 65. What am I exempt from? That is 7 words. Count them with me if you want. I am over 65. What am I exempt from? That is 8 syllables if you count slowly and 7 if you count the way the agents count when they are about to write you a refund check. Let me tell you exactly how the call goes because I want you to be ready, because if you stumble on the call, the agent will move on and you will hang up feeling smaller than when you started. When they pick up, you say, "Hi, I am calling about my policy. I am over 65. What am I exempt from?" That is it. That is the whole script. You do not need a long explanation. You do not need a story. You do not need to apologize for taking up their time. You just say those 7 words and then you go quiet. Let them do the work. Let them pull up your file. Let them look up the senior rule. Let them see that they have been overcharging you for the last 2, 3, 4 years. Let the silence on the phone do the heavy lifting. If they push back, if they say, "Well, our records show you never asked," your response is short. You say, "That is fine. I am asking now." If they say, "Well, this only applies to new policies," your response is short. You say, "Please check the year update from State Insurance Department name. I believe the rule applies to existing policies too." If they say they have to transfer you to someone else, you say, "Please stay on the line with me until we know for sure whether I qualify." Do not let them bounce you around. Polite and firm, polite and firm. That is the whole tone. If your letter says your policy is being canceled, you add one more short line. You say, "I am over 65. What am I exempt from? And I want to file a senior appeal on this non-renewal today." They cannot blow past that. The state made sure of it. Now here is the part most other videos skip. And this is the part you have been waiting for if you have been with insurance company name for more than a year. You can ask for a refund going back 2 to 3 years, and depending on your state, sometimes longer. This is not a tip. This is not a maybe. This is a real legal right that most seniors never exercise because nobody ever told them it existed. The principle is simple. The exemption was yours the moment you turned 65. The exemption was yours on the day after your 65th birthday and the day after that and every day since. So every premium the company charged you above the exempt rate was collected by mistake, and most state rules say a mistake like that has to be paid back. The form you ask for is the retroactive refund form name or claim review form name. The office you ask for is the retroactive refund office name or claims review department name. The phone line you want is the retroactive refund phone line or general customer service line. The keyword you search for online is retroactive refund search term. Again, I will say it slowly. Retroactive refund search term. Screenshot that line, underline it, tape it to the fridge. When you get a human on the line, and you say the same 7 words from earlier, "I am over 65, what am I exempt from?" Then, before they can answer, you add one short follow-up line. You say, "And I would like to file for the retroactive refund for the last 3 years. That is it. That is the whole second sentence. They will probably tell you it can take a few weeks. That is normal. They will probably tell you they need to verify your age. That is normal. Send them your driver's license. Send them a copy of your Medicare card, whatever they ask for. Send it the same day. Do not let it sit on your counter. Speed matters here. The longer they hold your paperwork, the more chances they have to come up with a reason to say no. And please, please, please write down the name of every person you talk to and the date and the time you talk to them. Insurance companies forget things, they lose notes, they blame the computer. If you have a piece of paper with names and dates on it, you have proof. If you do not, you have a story. If they tell you the refund window in your state is shorter than 3 years, do not argue on the spot. Just say, "Thank you. Please mail me the rules you are reading from so I can see them in writing," and then call the State Insurance Department consumer hotline number and ask the same question there. 2 different answers means there is room to push. One more thing before we close. The window for these refunds is not open forever. In many states, the rule that lets you ask for the last 3 years is paired with a deadline, and that deadline moves. If you signed any kind of release or settlement after a cancellation, read every word before you sign it, because some of those releases quietly close the refund door forever. If you cannot read the small print, have a grandchild read it with you. If you still cannot make sense of it, call the free senior counseling line in your state before you mail anything back. Quick disclaimer, before we wrap up, this is educational only, not legal or financial advice, so please confirm the specifics of your situation with a licensed professional in your state. Every state has slightly different rules about senior insurance exemptions, senior premium caps, retroactive refund windows, and senior appeal rights on non-renewal letters. The 7 words still work in almost every case, but the dollar amount, the form, the phone number, those depend on the state and the policy, and a 5-minute call to a licensed insurance counselor in target state or jurisdiction is worth more than anything I could say in this video. Locate your state's free counseling through StateShip or State Health Insurance Assistance Program number or website. That resource is free for seniors, it is paid for by your tax dollars, and the people on the other end of the line have no reason to steer you wrong.